Good morning. Welcome to this meeting of the Licensing Subcommittee. First item on the agenda is the nomination of chair for this morning. Could I take nominations, please?
I'd like to nominate David, please.
Thank you. And is that seconded? Councillor Bembo, are you happy to second that? Thank you. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you very much, and welcome everybody to this hearing. Just to say to you that the subcommittee's hearing procedures, a copy of which was included in the notice and agenda packs, has been sent to all parties, so that you should be able to follow quite clearly the procedures for this morning. Can I just ask the legal advisor just to confirm that we had a little chat before the meeting started?
You, as a committee, had a read of the paperwork. That is all that happened.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I gave no legal advice during that read of paperwork.
Thank you very much indeed. So can I ask the licensing officer if there are any technical issues that you feel should be brought to our attention?
I don't think there's anything to add that isn't already in the paperwork. I would mention that there is part of the supplementary information, there is a petition that's been submitted, and I don't think it quite covers what it should be to be acceptable. So obviously you should give it the weight that you think it deserves, but I don't think it should be given much weight at all.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm aware of the petition. We all got copies of that. It is, to say the least, not very explicit in terms of what it's saying, and certainly there are quite a lot of people on that petition who have nothing to do with the locality in which we're talking about. However, thank you very much for that. Now, I'm now going to ask the applicant if he would like to speak to this subcommittee.
Apologies, Chair. Can we just check if any councillors have any declarations of interest before?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Entirely
My fault. See, I'm so rusty. Can I ask colleagues if they have any declarations of interest to make at this stage?
No.
No. Councillor Bembo, no, and I haven't either. So, okay, now we can get going. And so I'm going to ask the applicant, Assad, if he would like to talk to us about the application by Papa John's that we're considering this morning. Over to you.
We have made an application to extend the business hours. That's what I'm aware of. And so actually somebody else supposed to attend the meeting, but then lastminute.com, I was asked to join it, and that's what I'm aware of, that we want the business hours to be extended.
Right. You've got nothing else to add to that?
Oh no, I mean in response to what we received the email.
Right. Okay. Fine. Now there are no observations or objections from the responsible authorities, but we do have a number of residents who have been in touch and made their representations, as you will know. So I'm going to now ask them if they have any questions of you at this stage, and following which they will also have an opportunity of speaking. Sorry, licensing officer.
I just wonder if perhaps the applicant doesn't understand that this is a chance for him to put his case forward, and that maybe he could expand a little bit on what they actually want to do and maybe what processes or procedures they put in place. I'm not sure he quite understands that this is his chance to put his case forward.
Sorry. Oh yeah, you're right. I thought I just have to say, as I said, I never attended this kind of meeting. Thank you very much for that. I have the points to express, but I thought that I was asked the questions, so why I'm here for. Sorry, I did not quite get well the question, but now
Assad, the part of this hearing is where you explain what it is you're applying for and why, and also perhaps take the opportunity to explain what your thoughts are on those people who put in representations against your application. So if you can explain why you're applying for an extension of hours from effectively 11 p.m. until 1 or 2 in the morning, you need to explain that, and you need to explain what conditions you're offering the committee to deal with that. Okay?
Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you very much. Now I understand. So I start with the reason we need extra hours because of the demand from the customers, and then COVID-19 situation, and also since this has been happening, we have a numerous pressure in our rush time. So which means people have started ordering at different locations. So in order to put the rush and deliver orders on time, so that's what we need extra hours, 2 or 3 hours extra on daily basis, or it could be 3 days a week. We don't mind any days you can give us, and we can go with that. But in regards to the response, I have made few points which I want to bring forward to all of you. First, I will start with the noise pollution. Papa John bikers have an outstanding track record when it's come to the road safety. In fact, we have not had even a single crash since this year. And we have new bikes, new year models, which means the noise pollution is less. And these all bikes are 2019, this year's model, last year.
Sorry, why are the bikes less noisy?
Because they are brand new now, and obviously new version has less noise than the older versions. And our drivers try to avoid the Mount Road at most of the time, especially in the night time, because if Mount Road leads to the Hazelmere Road, and then it leads to Rainsbury Terrace, and that turning is dangerous. So we do use the road daytime, but the evening when it comes to dark, our driver try to avoid that road. And the revving of the bike and the engines is close to proximity to our shop is not exclusive to Papa John's bike riders. In fact, there are other multiple bikers who use Mount Road and the adjacent streets a part of day or night time. That is, it could be other delivery companies or it could be third-party delivery companies. The alleged aggressive behavior, I would like to say that staff are trained to be polite and professional and to have a professional approach in any kind of situation. And we have zero tolerance policy to aggression. And in regards to the exact fan noise and the nuisance being highlighted, would it be most cases being dealt with the noise abatement officer if reported, or more significantly if the abuse was on constant basis? And that's the points I could think of about the noise pollution. And we are willing, if still the residents think we are not doing enough in order to avoid or minimize the noise pollution, we can install or we can call engineer to have the put the silencer on the exact fan, or to reduce the level of noise. And also we can look forward, or we can think of buying electric bikes for using for the late night. But having said that, we are based on the main road. So we're down the road on towards Wimbledon Park. We have a big business complex where we have Ocado there, and their trucks, big lorries, are keep moving on this road every half an hour, and we and the buses are going, and also there's some other construction sites, so their lorries are heavy, and the level of their noise versus us is much greater. And when we receive the delivery, we are not delivering only neighboring. Majority of the time, if I look at my data from my side, we have like six only in the local residents. We deliver maybe 10% of our orders, and that's majority of them are daytime. And when it goes to, if we are delivering any order, so it means we have only 10% of chance every 1 in 10 delivery if we are going in the local area and deliver the order. And if we go in, we deliver to Wandsworth, we deliver to Southfield, we deliver to Wimbledon Park, and going to Earthfield, that's the only time our bikers go through Mount Road. But majority of the time they prefer to use Penwith Road, which is more wider and obviously it's convenient for them to go towards the Earthfield Road. So having said that, which means majority of the time we use our biker, they use main roads in order to get the deliveries. That's I can have a meeting with my drivers and tell them, okay, if the resident have concern about their safety, but I can still talk to my driver to avoid that route. But having said that, I told earlier on, I mentioned that we have it's been now 7 months, we haven't had any crash, and touch wood, we're not gonna have it for next rest of the year as well. And the last year we did not have either, which shows that my drivers are they are sorry, I lost the word. They try to best to drive safely on the road. So now let's move to the waste management. Last two, we have had a visit. I'm just going to talk about the last 2 visits from the council, which are unannounced visits. So which means they can come anytime of the day. And when they come and they see, and obviously they will check our waste management, and they will check our food and hygiene in store as well and outside. So we got 5 stars in both of the reports. And having said that, in the reports there was nothing mentioned in regards to the poor waste management of Papa John's. And in regards to the empty bottled glass bottle of alcohol, we acknowledge that, and we are really sorry to hear about this. But we do not sell any alcohol, and our drinks are being sold in the plastic bottles. And I walk around sometimes. I take the bus, or I take the underground, or sometimes I take overground, depending which route I'm coming from. I see these alcohol bottles most of the streets. So which means either we open or we are not open. This problem will be still there, and it exists. And I don't think so. It's because we're going to open late, and it will make a problem for the local resident. And on many occasions we come across a situation where someone throw their rubbish next to our bin, because it says general waste, and some people they think it's just they can come and just throw their rubbish. And I'm trying to say this fly tipping. And to tackle this situation, we have been constantly monitoring now and before, since these issues been raised to our head office and the council. And what we do, we come across this problem only once we close the store, and the rubbish being dumped late night or early in the morning, where these are not even our trading hours. So in order to counter that problem, we start looking at CCTV footage, and if we find or recognize any person who has dumped that the bag, we have on many occasions we have delivered back the bag to them, or we somehow we went through the rubbish, opened the bin, and we found anything like their post or their letter or any kind of evidence of their address, and we have delivered back that rubbish to them. And we have advised them politely, this is not for the public use, this is only for Papa John's use. And prior to one of the email, I've read that they have raised this issue to our head office. Yes, we appreciate that. We try our best to look after our community, and on our side, if we see any customer, our customer is drinking some drink, and we offer them, if you want to throw your rubbish, we can offer you our bin. And on many occasions, we have stopped this situation that the empty bottle should be on the floor. And once the customer buy the pizza or product from us, and after eating the food, if they throw the bin, if they throw the leftover boxes on the street, if it's in our area, we pick up, but obviously we concentrate what we're doing inside the shop. Or if any of my staff make a note of there's an empty box there, we try to put it in the bin. We don't mind, because it's our surrounding area, and we respect our surrounding, and trying our best to make a good relationship. And we have tried, and any complaints being raised to us, or we try to our best to resolve it, and we try not to repeat it. And also in regards to this is the last point in regards to the waste management. Before, we used to have one collection a week, and then of the bin, and we saw the complaints were coming, and people were throwing the bin their bags, and obviously we could not manage our waste, which is obviously packed in the bags. We tried that from 1 day a week into 2 days a week, and then in few occasions, what happened? The company we were using, they did not turn up the day they're supposed to come, so we changed the company. So which shows that we try our best to respect our locals, and I do understand their concern as well. And I think that's it for the waste management. And then I'm coming to the last point about the use of these marijuana and cannabis. We do not have any control of substances used in the streets. Those who make such allegation should have alerted or can alert the local authorities, and we leave the matters to them, and let's see who has been smoking or who's smoking in the area and where the smell is coming from. And the last thing, why we need the license, I expressed early on, is demand from our customers. And obviously, due to the new situation we are going through, we would like to contribute to the community, and we receive a request from our customers that it would have been better if we can open a bit late hours. But I granted you haven't said that. If we have been granted the permission, we try our best to minimize the noise level, and we can, as I said, we can call engineer in order to decrease the noise level. But we do understand that people have obviously in London, life is tough. Everybody has their own life, and if you're having a stressful day and then the nighttime you haven't come across with the noise and disturbance, and which is not good. So we understand that, and we, as the manager, I've read these all emails, and I've made my points. I can refresh meeting with my staff and retrain them, and we try our best to stop noise pollution or anything which is in our control. I think that's it. This is the best I can give a shot.
Thank you very much indeed for your presentation. Now I'm going to ask anybody from the interested parties whether they would like to ask you a question. The first one is from Ms. Bellis.
Hello, thank you. Yeah, you've covered some of the points on waste management, Asad. Could you go through for us just what bins you use and what arrangements you make for keeping the area around Papa John's clean?
We have two procedures. First, we have the big commercial bin, And as I said early on, with the old company, we had a problem, and then we got a new one, and we told them because this issue is being raised to us on few occasions, so we want the collection dates to be exact. So, and collection dates we have chosen where because we do 70% of the business in the weekend and 30% of the business in the weekdays. So we have decided to we pick the dates on the bus in regards to thinking of the waste. Let's say, so we have decided Thursday is the best and the Monday is the best for us. And having said that, if we see any rubbish, when I come in the store, I walk around and I see, and obviously sometimes I do not it does not come in my eyes, or maybe I'm thinking something, so I wouldn't acknowledge. But then later a day of the time, if I acknowledge anything, we sweep it and we put it in the bin. This is the best we can do. And in regards to empty bottle, I try my best, even if it's in front of the Papa John. If I come across, if I see, I will just pick it up and just discard it.
Do you have a daily routine for doing that?
We don't have routine cleaning outside, daily routine. But as I said, if we see any rubbish and we see is we can pick it up and put in the bin, we do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joe Bew.
Hiya. I'm really sorry, I missed my Wi-Fi connection dropped out, so I've moved, so I might have missed some of this, but you said that there wasn't any crashes with the riders this year so far. Did you say there wasn't any crashes last year at all from the with the riders that the riders were involved in?
Last year we did, I think we had one, but that wasn't our fault. It's somebody's fault, but not our fault. The driver was waiting on the giveaway, and the car just come and hit him.
At the corner of Mount Road or somewhere else?
No, it was in Earlsfield Road. You know where the pub is, if you're well aware of, next to the train station at the giveaway. It was third party's fault. Yes.
Okay.
But in the having said that, it is better for us to have a car rider in the morning. By looking at this local resident, we have changed from car driver to bike driver because sorry for that. Sorry for that. And because of the visibility of the car driver, is because Mount Road is the cars are parked both sides. So when the car is going in that area, there's the very narrow space in the road. So we had to, in order to encounter that problem, we use the bike drivers this time. So which means that the bike driver has a more clear view what's happening on the road. And having said that, if the bike drivers were very fast, then I'm sorry to say that our customer wouldn't be receiving a pizza. They would have been receiving something else. But I don't see any complaint where customers saying our pizza's been damaged. So I look at those records. But time to time, I do tell my drivers drive safe. On every delivery, we tell them drive safe. So we do our part. Yeah.
Okay. Do they are they reminded of their responsibility? Because I know the bikes are obviously kept on the path just outside, and we have had, which I'll say a bit more later, but where lots of people are crossing and they don't necessarily take any notice of the pedestrians and children on little bikes and scooters that are walking in front of the shop. Like, do you have some kind of training procedure where you regularly remind them of what their responsibility is?
Yes. Sorry for that again. We do tell them, and our drivers obviously this issue's been raised. But I was thinking we never had since I've been here. I never had anybody from the local community. They come in and they said your drivers they don't look when they turn around, or our kids on the street. We do talk about the safety of our local and especially kids, because I have 3 years old daughters, so I know how how the kids are precious to us. So my drivers, most of them, they have families, so they have small children. So when they reverse, obviously from the bike, and they look around, and I also monitor when they reverse. If they see somebody passing by, they stop there and then. But having said that, we have on the main road, we don't find the parking, so our parking is we've been allocated the parking on the footpath, like in front of our shop. But whenever my drivers go out of the shop or come back, they are aware of this thing, because we know that we are aware of this that the safety of our surrounding is more important, and especially when it comes to the children.
Okay. Can I just ask while I'm still speaking? The application says that you provide late night refreshment both indoors and outdoors. Does that just mean open to collection and deliveries? What can you just explain a bit further on what your application?
Yes, it's both ways. Yes, collection and delivery. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no restaurant in your premises.
No, we don't have.
Just collections and deliveries, and that's it.
Yes, we don't have restaurant, and I haven't said that. The local as we are on the main road, but I don't see that this is a tourist spot where we will come across or encounter different people or new customer every time. Around 80, I would say around 80 to 90% of the customers are regular, even if they are drunk or they have the night out and they are drunk, but they act sober. I haven't had any problem in this area since I've been working here of any antisocial behavior or anything.
When's the last time you have people come in to collect?
We collect every day. We receive.
What time do you stop allowing people to come in to collect?
12 o'clock. That's when we open.
Sorry, in the evenings, what time do you finish allowing people to come in to collect their food?
11 o'clock.
So if you're going to be open till 2 a.m, are you expecting like people will still be allowed to come and collect a pizza at 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock?
Yes, because as this store, as I said, is for the local people, so we expecting the local customers to come in.
Okay.
Is that all? Right. Helen Clark-Bell.
Yes, thanks, Chair. I've just got a question for you. I said I don't know how long you've been manager. It sounds like you've recently joined, so welcome to Wimbledon Park, firstly. But I'm just wondering if you had any idea of what your relationship is with the immediate local residential community and what your involvement is in the neighbourhood.
Our local people, I know the people which are my regular customers. I have very good relationship with them, and we greet them, and that's what I do. And I know when they walk in the store what type of pizza they want or the toppings, and we open the doors for our customers. So which means I have very good relation. And I haven't said that we were #1 in the UK for the last year. We were chosen #1 in the UK in the customer service, and we won the award for this. So I think we are doing well, and it's only because of the community we are working for, and we understand their demands, what they want. So
the immediate neighbours and community who are not your customers, do you have any relationship with them at all?
Sorry, I didn't get any. I didn't understand any relation. And said like I say hello, hi to them. Yes, I do. Even if they're not customers, I just wave my hand if they wave a hand on me, or I can give them a smile. To me,
You're
this is
not
the best
reaching out in any way to the local community, is what I'm trying to say. to understand
so
what the issues are?
no, I never had anybody walk into me and talk about these issues.
Okay, thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. If that's all the questions from the interested parties, I'm going to ask my councillor colleagues whether they've got any particular questions they would like to ask at this point. Councillor Agathini.
Could I just ask Assad that do you sort of have any intention of trying to get to know the community a bit more to sort of find out, is there anything apart from what you say you would do that you would do with them, or get them to be a bit involved so you can have a cordial relationship? Because as you're doing a service for the community and there are others who are not happy with what, things that are going on, do you have it in mind to try and bridge the gap in some way or other?
If being given an opportunity, I don't mind talking, but I don't know how to start. And another issue I will come across with, English is not my first language. Even my staff, sometimes they get annoyed if they're trying to speak something in deep or using a different words. I don't mind if somebody come up to me, and if any kind of thing, if I can do it, if I can work out that situation or anything, I'm happy. I'm happy to sit down and hear the views, and this is the best I can do. And even if anything is not in my control, for example, social abuse. I give you an example. I don't know where we put it there. As being the part, I feel I am part of the this Southfield because I'm working here, and obviously I have a relation, and I spend my time here. I know people around this area, my customers. If I see anything happen on the roads, I call the police. This happened once. If somebody knows opposite of the Mount Road, one night the car somebody drove car into the wall, and I was the first person to call the police. I saw it. I pick up the phone and call the police, and I think a month before, or maybe 3 or 4 weeks before, there was a gentleman walking. He goes, "Can you call the ambulance on urgent basis for me?" And I pick up the phone. I didn't ask him why I should call for you. Why you not calling? I didn't ask. I just pick up the phone, call ambulance, and it was a gentleman on his I think 70s to 80s, and he says he can't breathe, and he was standing outside the shop, and he shouted, "Oh, can you call the ambulance?" I without thinking for a second, I just pick up the phone, I call the ambulance, and then they asked me question. I said that the man has just shouted. He said he needs an ambulance, and the ambulance were here within 3 to 4 minutes. And so, having said that, I try my best to be part of the community, in a sense that even if there's something is beyond my control, but we try to. I try to be part of it. I hope I answered the question in regards to what you asked, or maybe I didn't understand your question.
Councillor Agathini, have you had any more questions? Yeah.
And the last thing before I go, I'm sorry. The extension of hours, obviously, it is only I brought forward the request to my area manager because for me, I'm not the owner of the business. I'm here as a manager, so which means it will not pay me extra if I'm open late. But this request has been brought forward for the sake of the customers. And so, I have customers. They do freelancing from home. That which means they work from home, or some situation they travel, they might be traveling, or like nowadays we have situation where it's, where kids are home, so people wants to put the kids on the bed, and then they went to order. So these are the things I had in my mind, and I requested my area manager, let's give a shot. But having said that, if we have been granted a time even for full week, but it doesn't mean that we can open every day, or if we can be given a granted at least 3 to 4 days a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that's what we want. And from my side, I make sure the noise level or any kind of activity in which we can control. Having said that, I try my best to do that, because I know how it feels. And where I live, across the road, I have pub, and I live in Rains Park, by the way, and I have a pub across my road. And sometimes they organize the parties, and the parties are there till 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. But but then I'm not saying that you shouldn't I like it. Obviously, it's the Southern music, but I see on other ways we can. So, you know that these people are having fun. So I take it this way. But I know we have kids there. I try my best, and we try our best, and our team will try, even if something you think. Because you might have different standard than the standard we set. But if I speak to the people, or if anybody wants to come forward and speak to us, and they think, okay, you know what, we want, I think you are doing what you're doing is good, but we want it this way. We are willing to do that. I'm not gonna say, oh no, you know who you are, why are you talking to me, this and that. No, because we are here to build a relationship. For me, if we are not looking after for the local community, then I think it's a failure for our business. But we have shown time to time any concern being raised we have only concern raised in regards to this throwing rubbish, fly tipping. And I should say,
thank you very much. I think you've made that particular point several times now. I think Councillor Benbow wants to ask you a question.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. I have two questions, and I know you're going to have people who don't me out, picking up rubbish around your store, and also you'll be installing a TV for the public safety. Plus, you'll be having a staff hand there for children. Are you aware this means it'll be extra cost for your business, and also you need to, I think, outside the what's not within your business. And the other question I would like to mention of reading the neighborhood feed back, and sadly your business doesn't have a good reputation in terms of the public safety, both rubbish management and etc. But there's one thing I would like to highlight, that several complaints have been made to your business and also to your headquarters, but the outcome hasn't changed much. Are you able to explain this and why? Thank you.
Sorry, it was a bad line. I did not get the question. If somebody can tell me this.
So what the council was just saying is that there have been no changes have occurred when complaints have been made, I think is the general gist. Yeah.
As I said early on, in regards, are we talking about the waste management?
Okay.
I think
Right.
we're talking about any complaint, but
Whatever complaints we have received, or if I've encountered, we tried our best to resolve those. And as I said, in my awareness, the only problem was with the waste management. That's what I'm aware of. We had a problem. Even if anybody would have made a complaint, we act on it and we try to resolve, obviously, because we want to hear. We are here. We are not independent company where like we're gonna be opening business for 1 year and then after 1 year we're gonna move around. We've been here for 9 years, and then you know how franchisees are. They once they're there, they want to there and they want to grow within the community. The only way is, and this is our main priority, look for take care for the neighbors. So any complaint is being forwarded to us, or somebody make a complaint officially, then we try to resolve in the manner of and the best interest of the person who's making a complaint.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Assad. I've got a question for you, really. My question is, have you done any market research testing to see whether there is a need for the services that you offer, i.e. your late night pizzas? Have you done any market research to find out what sort of numbers you might be involved with, how many, the numbers of people that maybe want to come to either to your shop, or indeed the amount of deliveries you would be undertaking in these extended hours were they to be granted?
We had the first idea came when the customer, when they called and they asked what time and we told them I come home later. We have this and the on the other side we at the night time our calls get diverted to Wimbledon and our Wimbledon store, and then they pick up the phone and they tell the customer, sorry, and this is the second I would say second source of the decision which we have made, that okay, I think we should give a shot. So in regards to the amount of the people coming in, I will not have any clue. As I said, this is not late night. Obviously, there's no shop open, and majority people will rather call it for delivery. So maybe I would say for maybe 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 delivery an hour, and which means in the I tell you in the morning from we open 11 o'clock, sorry, 12 o'clock, and from 12 till 5 there's only one person working in store and one driver we have. So we have the same pattern at the evening time. So after 10, well, that's where our rush finishes. So after 10 o'clock, there's only one person in store or another person who cleans around. For the delivery driver, we will have only one driver, so which means the noise level will be less. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you very much. Now, what I'm going to do now is, Assad, is invite the interested parties each to make a statement as to why they object to your application, and you will have the opportunity to ask any questions of them when they have completed their evidence. So it's your turn now to listen whilst they make their observations. So I'm going to ask Helen Clark-Bell start.
Sorry, Chair, can I just confirm something? I thought we had the opportunity to ask questions of the responsible authorities as well.
Well, there are no responsible authorities that have made any objections, so there's no responsible authorities present.
Oh, so the licensing officer is not a responsible authority in that respect?
There's no police or licensing officer or pollution officer objections at all.
Or public health.
Okay, all right. Thanks for the confirmation.
So now the question, which of you would like to start first?
Yes, sorry, David, it is going to come back to me. Thank you, though. And as neighbours and as a community, we are generally a very tolerant area. Many of us have had many reasons, however, to raise issues with the management of Papa John's over the past 9 years, since they started trading here. And actually, Hassad, since you've been on the phone, I have pulled up an email that I sent directly to you that was forwarded on to your head office about a delivery rider named Vadu who was behaving particularly badly. I have had absolutely no response to any of the complaints or any of the questions that we have raised through Twitter, through emails through to the head office, through coming into you directly. We are absolutely summarily dismissed when we come into the store. So these complaints may not have reached the authorities. Clearly, that's why there are no objections today. But what this application has revealed, and I'm sorry that the petition doesn't appear to be being taken seriously, is that many of us have had cause to complain over the...
Sorry, Helen. Can I just stop you just to assist? It's more legal advice for the committee than anything else. There's sort of been analysis of petitions by licensing courts and well, not courts, but licensing commentators. Specialist lawyers and so on, barristers. And the view would be normally that on any petition that each page explains the thing the person is signing. So effectively the prayer would be on each page of the petition itself. That wasn't the case on the petition that has been provided to the committee. The second part of it is that the people who objected didn't necessarily comment in terms of what they wrote, and some of them aren't necessarily very close to the premises, so it's difficult to judge. It will be down to the committee balancing the weight of the evidence. So it's not that it's dismissed; it's just that the committee may not have as much store in it than they would with you as residents in terms of what you're saying today or what you've written. So it's not that they dismiss it, it's that just that it's not as strong as what you've written, I think is the best way to put it.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. But I think addressing that point directly, I understand that all petitions attract petitions from other areas and etc. But I think the majority of those signatories are from the local area. And what this application has demonstrated is that there is a low-lying level of antisocial activity that all of the residents and neighbours around here have been putting up with and not actually raising it with the relevant authorities. So I think that's what that petition raises, and certainly Joe, Emma and myself have been designated. There were a number of other people that would have loved to have come forward, but actually we put ourselves forward to represent the community in that. So our complaints have been about the conduct and general behaviour of the riders, the recklessness and speed of the bike riders, the riding on the pavements generally, and a blatant disregard for the rules of the road. I mean, the number of near misses I myself have witnessed is extraordinary. The revving of engines as they drive up and down the road. We do have humps in the road and they seem to take great pride in approaching them at speed. And the amount of detritus that's constantly left on the pavement. I think that the issue that I have is that the management of Papa John's, both locally and at headquarters level, has absolutely no regard for the local neighbours. They have not communicated with us prior to this application. There is no market research really done as to what the demand is going to be. the duty of care of waste legislation, in my opinion, is absolutely not being adhered to. You have a duty to segregate, store and transport your waste appropriately and securely. There is no recycling going on. And there is certainly, it is absolutely, the majority of it is your waste. I understand there is a fly tipping spot fairly close to it, but beside your bins and spread out on the pavement in your curtilage and on your frontage, there are regular blue plastic wrappings from cheese, pizza boxes and tomato paste cans that are the really big ones. They're not coming from anybody else, I can assure you. It doesn't take an enforcement officer to identify those. So longer trading hours will produce more waste and almost certainly exacerbate the waste issue. Particularly, I'm amazed to hear that it's not part of your daily routine, that you have a member of staff go around and patrol the external of your premises just to make sure that there is no waste. It would take you probably 3 or 4 minutes, but it should be someone's responsibility every couple of hours to go out and make sure that that is being presented well. So the petition, I think, you know, I understand that it is being called into question, but I do think that this business is unlikely to have much in if any local demand. I think there are a number of other Papa John's franchises around who would be able to satisfy the small demand that we've heard. There is no other local premises that is open past 11 o'clock at night. So changing the operating hours for this premises would actually set a very dangerous precedent for a number of other premises in the area and thereby change the nature of the neighbourhood and the community. I'd like to raise the issue of no crashes this year. I think that is a really interesting point because over the years there have been crashes caused at Mount Road, at the junction of Durnsford Road, and I would like to understand from the police how many of those involve the riders, because in my opinion, it's been quite a few. I haven't logged them, but you know, as a local resident here for 23 years, I've seen that activity change since Papa John's have moved in. Of course, we haven't called the noise abatement officer because it's a moped going up and down. It happens in a 3 or 4 second flash. If we were to call a noise abatement officer, the noise has happened and been and gone by the time the noise abatement officer actually is able to attend site. I'm amazed that the demand is 70% weekend and 30% weekday, and yet you're still asking to open until 1 o'clock in the morning for the rest of the week. I understand there's some flexibility on that in what you've just stated, but it doesn't feel like this is being set forward properly. It doesn't feel like the management is really structured in this demand. And I think the implications on the neighbourhood are difficult already. And I don't think that this application should be approved for all of the reasons I've stated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark-Bell. Now, Assad, do you have any questions you would like to ask of Mrs. Clark-Bell?
No, sorry.
No, thank you. Right.
Yeah.
I'll move to the next petitioner. Who would like to speak next? Right. Could you unmute?
Yes, that helps. Thank you.
That does indeed. Thank you very much.
I have lived on Mount Road for over 23 years, and I'm a few doors down from Papa John's. I'm an occasional customer. I'm particularly concerned about the noise pollution if the application to extend opening hours is granted until 1 or 2 in the morning. I can hear what I think is the kitchen extractor fan quite clearly from my bedroom, and have frequently been disturbed when trying to get to sleep at night by multiple motorcycles revving. I've also experienced bikes sweeping onto the pavement in front of me, never hitting me or coming close, but it's kind of, that does happen. I am aware that many of my neighbours share these concerns. I've also been aware of the often messy bin area at the top of the street, and I regularly pass a group of people smoking cannabis at the side of Papa John's during the day. So I think extending the opening hours to a wide area, it will cause significant noise at night. it's a residential area with a lot of young families, and as there are no other food outlets nearby, it will attract or is likely to attract late night drinkers who use Mount Road as a through road, and lead to an increase in antisocial behaviour and littering and broken glass. And I accept the broken glass is not directly connected to Papa John's, but overall feel that the extension to the opening hours would have a detrimental impact on the community and wouldn't provide any community or social benefit. So that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Assad, do you have any questions to ask?
I don't have any question, and as I said, I listen. Obviously, I'm gonna think about it, and for me, I cannot ask the question straight away. I might come across question later on when I speak to these people, but at the moment, I will not be able to ask any question. And I think I've answered everything what
Thank
I
you very
wanted to
much.
express myself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. View, do you wish to speak? Yes. Would you like to speak now?
Thank you. So I've lived here 3 years, and I hope I'm not going over what we've said, but just to put my thoughts across really. So the motorbikes, so we're within the Wimbledon Park Primary School catchment area. So there's at least 30 children under 8 living in those 20 houses just from Papa John's, 10 houses each side. So yes, and myself, I've got a 3-year-old and she's always on a scooter, and I'm teaching her about road safety, etc. But yeah, so a moped came, literally just shot out in front of her to go off onto Durnsford Road. And it's startling. So the noise and the sudden movement on a pavement, she's not expecting that. I teach her that there's cars on a road. I don't teach her that there's vehicles on a pavement. Nothing happened that time, but she was close to the pavement and she'd fallen off, or like there's little kids on the little bikes. I just think that's an accident waiting to happen on that corner. And then another time there were 2 Papa John's riders riding next to each other going up Mount Road, which again, Helen said, but there is speed bumps to stop people from speeding, but they were going at a pretty fast speed. And I just think there are young children that they don't necessarily know not to run out and cross into the front of the road, and I just think it's quite dangerous. Again, yeah, I know about the empty bottles. That is a problem, and I just want to say on behalf of a neighbour, he lives in one of the flats at the back of Papa John's, and he said that regularly every Sunday he has to go out there and sweep up the rubbish outside his house, and that just shouldn't be his responsibility, because it's not his rubbish, it's Papa John's rubbish that overflows, and drunk people coming for their pizza fix. So if you're extending the hours, you're just going to get more and more people walking down the street and more rubbish. And then obviously a safety concern for children if they're falling over or tripping up on broken glass as well. And I'm really sorry, because this is when my Wi-Fi cut out, so I'm not sure if this has been answered, but on the cannabis front, yes, and many residents have observed a strong smell coming from around the Papa John's building, and there's often a car parked on the pavement just outside. I think it's a grey, I'm not sure, it's a grey car, and I don't know if it's a Papa John's member of staff, but I've seen them smoking in the car, and they've got a cap on when it's been raining. And then the one of the residents opposite, she said that she has gone and asked, told the duty manager and complained to get them to move, and nothing's happened since. She also said that she has approached the person smoking cannabis and asked them to move away, because they moved from the Papa John's side of the pavement to across the road, which is right outside her front garden, and she does use, and she's got 2 young children under 3. And then she's also seen them smoking outside the alleyway on the corner at the back of Papa John's. So it's just like risk of, secondhand cannabis smoke inhalation, I guess, for kids. Yeah, just also on the right, just lastly, the riders, I just think, do they not have some kind of regular training or some sort of declaration that they have a responsibility as a Papa John's staff member, that it just all doesn't seem very, what's the word, kind of proper procedures in place, like are there risk assessments done, or when there are accidents, what happens? Is their riding reassessed somehow, or I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Assad, have you any questions to ask of this lady?
As I said, I won't be able to ask a question. I will just listen.
All right.
That's fine. Yeah, because I've expressed what I've written the points, and that's the best I can say. But if I ask a question, I will ask a question of the same points which I've already mentioned. So
thank you. Now I'm going to ask my colleagues if they've got any questions of the interested parties, any of them.
No.
No?
No.
Right, Councillor Bembo, you have a question. Please unmute yourself. Councillor Bembo, can you unmute yourself?
Sorry about it. But if this application goes ahead, what are your main concerns over the long term, not just short term?
Who is that addressed? Who is that question addressed to? Not
To any of the
local. I think Bellis, would you like to answer?
I think it's likely to change the character of the neighbourhood if it goes ahead. There will be a level of nuisance that we can't fully anticipate in terms of noise and increased waste, but also we don't have any late night licenses. It's a quiet area at night, and having something that's open until 1 or 2 in the morning is likely to shift that over time.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. Right. In that case, I'm going to ask the licensing officer if she has got any comments or clarifications to make at this stage.
I don't think so, no, unless you've got any questions for me, Chair.
I don't have any questions to you. Thank you very much indeed. So I'll ask the legal advisor for any comments or clarifications he may have at this stage.
No comment at the moment. During deliberations, I'm sure I will give you legal advice. The new normal procedure, of course, is that you will be promoting the licensing objectives in making your decision. You will be considering the Thwaites case in that sense. And you will obviously be considering those things that are within the licensing regime as opposed to those things that are outside it. Yeah. You can't consider. But let's see what happens in due course. Maybe I have to give confirmation of what legal advice I give afterwards.
Indeed, thank you very much indeed. Now, I'm going to ask the interested parties if they would like to make a closing comment. And I see Helen Clark Bell's hand went up, so I'm going to invite you to make a comment first.
Thank you, Chair. As with all licensing applications, we know about the 4 licensing objectives that businesses are supposed to adhere to. And in my opinion, all 4 of those are currently being breached in their current position, albeit at a relatively low level. So there is no grounds for an extension of the license. And those are prevention of public nuisance, clearly noisy and speeding motorbike activity, public safety, dangerous motorbike riding on the pavements and on the road, and fast speeding into the across those pavements as well, particularly around a close residential area, which is full of school children crossing the road, etc. Protection of children from harm, waste left on the streets attracting foxes, motorbikes recklessly riding on the streets and driving across the pavements for every delivery that's made. And the fact that they don't go down Mount Road after hours, rubbish, absolute rubbish. I'm sorry, they do not use Penwith Road as far as I'm aware. I don't live on Penwith Road, but they absolutely come down Mount Road. And the prevention of crime and disorder, whilst this is not absolutely your responsibility because it's not happening in your premises, there is a duty of care for prevention of crime and disorder in the locality. And when you have cannabis smoking regularly, in fact, almost every single day outside your premises, do you not have a responsibility to deal with that and report that through to the police to ask for their assistance to deal with it? Personally, I believe it is associated with your premises, but I have no absolute evidence to say that. But it is your duty of care in the prevention of crime and disorder to follow through with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Do either of the other ladies want to? Yes, Miss.
I'm
Please.
sorry, again, can I just please clarify the petition? You said it wasn't quite explicit. Did you definitely get the full copy? Was it just the fact that we didn't individually comment on those points put across? I just want to make sure you did get the right document.
So what the petition seems to have, let me just read it to you. What it has on it. Sorry, I'm just going to get to the right place.
I'm not good at reversing my.
What it has on it. This is on page 5. Stop late night nuisance from Papa John's. Okay, that's the sort of the headline. But the actual petition itself doesn't have anything else on each page where the signatures are. And the normal requirement for a petition is for it to have that prayer on each page. That's the first thing. The second thing is obviously that the details of the addresses. Okay, some of them do say Wimbledon Park, but some say London, some say London, UK, Liverpool. Some say Southfields, Tolworth, Roehampton, Southfields, Kingston, Bookham, Wandsworth, Thamesditton, New Malden. So what I'm saying is that the committee has to be a little bit careful in terms of the value they put into that petition. That doesn't mean that they're considering the petition. They are. It is coming into their mind when they make their decision. But obviously, the most important thing is where they've got proper evidence from residents who've taken the time to write letters of representation, or indeed come and spoken here today. So the upshot is that it's part of the papers, it's considered, but it's not the most important thing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Does anybody else wish to make any comment of the respondents? Rather, no.
No, thank you.
Sorry?
No, I just said no, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Assad, it's your turn if you want to say anything further in support of your application, having heard what the respondents have had to say. Do you wish to add anything to that which you've already told us?
I just want to clear one thing about the crash. I just come across a question. It's not a question. I just want to say somebody just said that they have witnessed the crashes of Papa John's. If needed by, we can produce a report from our insurer or the company who provide the insurance, and that we did not met across any accident for last since beginning of this year. And also as our bikes are new, and there's no damage to the bike's body as well, so which this is the best I can say. And the rest, obviously, whatever these locals have said, obviously I will I will discuss with my team. But I think what I wanted to say, I've said it, and we will respect their views, and we try our best. And as I said, we have somebody just pointed out our structure. If we never had a structure, we wouldn't have been the franchise company all across the UK and the world. We have the structures, and I'm sorry to hear that when the previous complaints were made, they were not dealt the way it should be. I would say, but now we have a system where, in a sense, that we take the serious any complaint, we take it serious. But if it regards to the locals, obviously we try to resolve, and we find we try to resolve in the matter of our acknowledgement that we think, okay, let's say somebody has come across with any problem, and I said, okay, I've sorted out, but maybe the standard I set it up is different than what the other party is expecting. So they obviously and the last thing, when the complaint's been made, we've not been given any email, as I'm talking about in regards to my situation as a store manager. So obviously I have no control to reply back. But if any concern be raised from head office, I just reply back to them. Okay, this is the step we have taken, and then we make sure. And the last thing, there's a one point being raised about suggesting us look around the shop at least once a day. No, I think I did not make the point clearly. I meant to say that my drivers, I asked them, if you see anything in our area, let me know, like in surrounding of Papa John's premises. And obviously when we are working, our focus is to deliver the pizzas on time to our customers. But having said that, if it's something is really our driver think is dangerous, and then we rather clean there and then. And the rest, that's the point I think I can give it the best shot. And I'm sorry if I wouldn't have explained and to the local residents enough what question they had asked me and what kind of problem they raised. And that's it, I think I would like to say.
Right, thank you very much, Asad. Now, that brings us actually to the conclusion of licensing panel. And what happens now is that the councillors, my colleagues, Councillor Kakini and Councillor Bembo, together with the legal advisor and our clerk, will now retire to consider the application and make our decision in relation to that. And that decision will be communicated to you in writing within the next 5 working days. So I'm going to thank you all very much indeed for your attendance this morning and for your participation in this hearing, and I declare the hearing closed.